Well, friends, if you've been watching for some time, sadly the aquarium is gone. We just sort of moved the recumbent bike over there. Had that thing there for years. Apparently, though, according to my dad, just the plants keep dying in there, and so he keeps spending a bunch of money on it. So at a certain point, it's just becoming like a money sink. So he gave the fish away, gave the aquarium away, and we put this here. So there's, I don't know, just there's, if anybody in the house wants to do cardio now, there's literally no excuse. It's even like facing the TV. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that you used to seeing that aquarium there with all the lights and the fish and blah blah, and one day it's gone. But that is life, right? That is life. So yeah, just thought I'd share. Hello there, friends. Welcome to the other side, the second half of the current year. On this July 1st, 2018, it's lovely, absolutely lovely morning, early noon. Warm out, but not too hot. Thankfully found a place with some nice shade to do some recording. So, well, folks, 6 months gone, 6 more to go. Oh. What are we gonna do, right? What are we gonna do? What are you and I going to do? I'm not gonna get into any sort of by the end of the year I wanted this and that. I mean, that's become a habit of setting ourselves up for failure by saying how we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and over the years you haven't exactly had a good history with that. So I'm not gonna say anything about that. I guess mostly it's just what have we learned from the past with some of the progress that we had before, It definitely comes down to each and every single day doing the right thing, or avoiding something that is going to hamper that progress. Most of the days on the road of progress are definitely very, I don't know, can you use the word boring? It's just you doing the thing and you're not really sure, is this going to go anywhere? Was this going to lead to? Doesn't even look like you're making progress. So it's not like every day is somehow sort of exciting, It's mostly, is that even a word? It's damn it. Alright, traffic is getting a little bit too much. Whatever this fucking road is. Gosh, it was quiet, and of course, as soon as I start to record, it gets very loud. But it's mostly just very uneventful, boring, just like, do I really want to? Am I really gonna make any just something like that. Just day after day after day. I'm really having to just remind myself again of the whole time is gonna go by anyway, Time is gonna go by anyway, and where do you want to be at every demarcation? Every month, after every 3 months, after every 6 months, just from now until the end of the year. I mean, is this gonna be just more half-assing, this and that? Getting serious but not sticking to it for much longer than you think you need to, etc. All that stuff. So, and I'm not going to get into, it's over, nothing matters, blah, blah, blah. What difference will it make? It's if you don't try it, if you don't do it, I mean, how are you going to really know what really changes, right? And I'm not going to make any excuses for whatever. It's just, when you've been doing something, basically the same thing, for a very long time, like the concept of it being any different is just so far away that it doesn't even feel real, that it's almost like, it almost feels like some far off magical mystery land that you're not even sure, is that real or just a myth, so that's sort of the part of it where it's like, the sort of sort of the day after day work where you're like, man, I don't know, am I just trying to walk towards a mirage, or is this actually really going to go somewhere? So, who really knows? It's basically just going to be like playing the lottery and see if you win or lose. See if it actually makes any difference. Or do you end up making a big circle back to where you were? So now things are just different but the same, right? There's anything that I've definitely learned, it's that progress is if you stop growing. Doesn't look like it with that big old belly. That belly's growing. If you stop with your growth, man, getting that force to move again is definitely very difficult, folks. So, very difficult. And it's one of those you have to be very careful about getting comfortable where, okay, I just changed this and I got this job. Well, that's about it, You kind of stop there. It's like, no, man, that might be okay for a while, but, no. That's sort of like where I think you can kind of get trapped and go completely off the rails, and you just end up somewhere in some weed patch, God knows where. And now not only do you have to get back to where you were headed, at least where you think you were headed, now you got to clean off all the shit that you walk through too. So it's there's that too. It's a very weird fucking point to be in life, folks. Maybe this is the millennial thing, the 33-year-old boomer's woes, where you're not it's not like I'm still in high school or college or I just graduated and now it's like off into the big world, whatever. And it's not one of those where like you're in your 40s or 50s and you got a family and responsibilities and blah, 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 and a whole bunch of time on you. You're just in this weird middle spot where you're in your early 30s. I'm not going to say that, oh, okay, I failed. I'm not going to use that anymore. I would say I fizzled out. I fizzled out and I didn't amount to what I know I could have. And I think it's sort of a fine balance between, there's sort of like the immediate needs of like, you do need some sort of job, something for income and blah, blah, and that stuff. But there's also the other side of it, the more, it's hard to really describe what it is, but what's in your heart, man? What do you want to do? What are you passionate about? That sort of goal, dream, whatever, that, you have to be very careful about ignoring. So it's this sort of, I don't know. So yeah, it's you're like in your early mid 30s. You just never reached a potential for now that you could have. Looking back at it now, you could have. You just, that's really the only description, as you fizzled out as a person and didn't go as high as you could have. And there's no real responsibilities. You never started a family. Blah, blah, blah. All of that. So that's what I mean, is it's just a weird fucking time. Weird position to be in life. So yeah, you're standing there, looking at it all, and just, where to, right? Where to? Can it even be any different? Is it even gonna make a difference? On and on, right? I mean, I guess at the very least, like I said, man, if you don't try, how can you really say it's over and that it doesn't really matter? It's just, it's hard to really see it, folks. It really is. It almost feels like you're just picturing kind of like a far off magical island that you're not even sure actually exists. Oh gosh, my stomach's grumbling. Gosh. No, I don't have to go to the bathroom. I mean, this is what I mean, folks. This is what I mean. It's after whatever monologue you give to yourself, after whatever motivational book or video you watch or read, when you turn off the music, when you turn off whatever, you're just sort of sitting there. And that's what I mean, is it's sort of it, There's nothing really, no excitement, no fanfare, just like You know, now what? There's 6 more months to go, folks. 6 more months to go. Where are we going to be at? Where are we going to be at? Closer to something? Even further away? Sometimes you wonder where you're even going, right? But I just have to keep it in mind, folks. Just have to keep it in mind that the time is going to go by anyway. And it's whatever excuses, whatever this and that. It doesn't really matter. It's all on you and me. All right, and on that note, folks, see you later.